All right. Chris, let's welcome in everybody to our official Pixel Benders podcast.
Yeah, welcome. It's been quite a while.
Yeah.
Jeez.
We tried this before with video, and that was too much. Too much for me to handle. So I was like, fuck it, I quit life. And yeah. Yeah, then we ended up starting a Metal Gear podcast with German. So
that was over a year and a half ago.
Yeah. So this one will be going out to everybody, right? I don't think this is just a paid one.
Yeah, I would think so. It's free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think this one would be a bonus one. I was like, we need more free content out there.
We do. Yeah, for sure. To lure them into the paid content.
That's right, suckers. But yeah, this one basically is just going to be kind of like what we were doing before, just like I was about to say local topics. That'd be hilarious. You talk about what's going on where you are, and I'll talk about what's going on. There's a fire that is going, and it's going and going. I don't even know how well contained it is.
Jeez.
17,000 acres. Containment expected by July 4th. Oh my God.
Jeez.
What day is it? It's the 22nd of June. That's crazy. And it literally started like 6 houses down from one of my coworkers.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty nuts. But not local topics. Like recent type of events relating to video games, movies, TV shows, whatever. Mm-hmm. And my only condition for Chris was that he has one like happy one, like one good news one, and one negative bad news one. Yeah. And we're just gonna kind of, there's no real format to it right now. I'm just saying like 15 minutes per topic or something. But you know how formats work; they just go out the window, and we just do whatever. So exactly. That's our guide. Yep. That's our guideline.
Yeah.
So
our guideline is just do whatever.
Yeah. Wing it. Mm-hmm. So Chris, good news or bad news? First.
I'd like to start off with some good news.
Okay, go right ahead.
And actually, this is it's what do you call it? Serendipitous.
Oh, okay.
That this happened. Our first video, one of the topics we talked about was PocketPal, aka Pal World.
Oh yes,
versus Pokemon.
Okay, that's true.
So those of you who are in the know, you know that Pokemon attempted to sue Pal World not over copyright, but over patent infringement.
Right.
So not because their pals looked anything similar to like Pokemon or anything, because they did do some in-depth looking. They looked at like the skeletons and the wireframes and all that kind of stuff. They were different enough that it wasn't like too similar, so they couldn't get them on that. So what they did was they got them on patent infringement. And what happened was 8 months after the game came out, Nintendo had filed a patent on riding monsters in game to transport yourself from one location to another, as well as throwing a spherical object to capture said monsters and use for your own good, or use for your purposes or whatever.
I didn't know it was about the riding part. I thought it was only the throwing the ball thing.
Wow. Yeah. So it was at riding too. And so a lot of people were like, "This is stupid. Like you've had these things for years. Why are you just now filing these patents? You know, other games have had this kind of stuff. That's ridiculous. Like, what are you doing?" So for a long time, it seemed like Nintendo was going to win because they had filed this in Japanese courts, which of course is where Nintendo's from, and Japanese courts are going to back their own companies. You know, it's how the world works. Welcome to reality, whatever, you know. And unfortunately, it seemed like it was going to go in favorably to Pokemon. Now, I guess PocketPal, and I don't know how much time they were given to dispute or what exactly had happened. I didn't look into all of the details. So if anyone out there knows, you can inform us or let us know or whatever. But apparently what happened was they came back to Pokemon and they said, listen, we're not arguing that you have these patents filed and that we are infringing upon those patents. However...
The patents?
Yeah, the patents. However, look at a game like Ark Survival. What do you do in that? You ride monsters.
Right.
However, the reason Pokemon didn't go after them is because they're not direct competition. Because Ark Survival is mostly for PC, and Pokemon has little to nothing to do with PC, so they don't care about them. They're not direct competition. They care about Pal World because it is almost direct competition, and a lot of people have said that, and it's kind of split the community. Where a lot of like hardcore Pokemon fans are like, yeah, Pal World's wrong for doing blah blah blah, and you know they shouldn't have done that. And you have the people that are fans of Pal World, and they're like, no, you know, Pokemon's wrong for trying to bully and trying to, you know, have a corner on the market, and they've not been, you know, making their games better over the last few years, and they've been putting out too many games too quickly and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I'm sort of in the middle. I like Pokemon. I've grown up playing Pokemon since I was probably like 14, 13 years old. So shortly after it came out, so I'm a big Pokemon fan. I agree that there has been a lot of stagnation in that game, especially since they went 3D.
Yeah.
So anyone who's not played the game or grew up playing it, whatever, they may not understand like how it works or whatever. But there's been a lot of stagnation in the game as far as development, quality of the games, everything like that. And yes, that is a disappointment to me. So I absolutely believe that yes, there should be some sort of competition for them to. We gotta actually do this right. We gotta kick our butts in the gear. And when I first heard about that, I thought it was great news because good, Pokemon finally has some real competition from this little company, and they are just giving them a run for their money enough that Pokemon's going after them,
Yeah.
And I was like, that's awesome. That's good. That's good news. And then it came out with the whole, patents and all things like that, and they're suing them and everything. I was like, okay, this is not good. This is crossed over too bad. This is not the way you should be doing this.
It's almost wrong. Like there should be like a new word for it, like bad wrong or badong.
Badong. Exactly. But yeah, so I remember I in our last talk when we last talked about this, I was ranting and raving about PocketPal should absolutely continue doing what they are doing. Give them competition because the Pokemon company absolutely needs it. They absolutely need that reality check that we're not the only company that does this or that can do this, and we need to make better games in order to stay afloat as a company.
Not to mention, there are 2 other franchises, 3 that are direct like Pokemon game clones.
Oh yeah,
there's Digimon, there's Monster Rancher, and there's Temtem.
Mm-hmm.
Why not go after those?
Because they're not direct competition. They're not enough competition. Well, they're not big enough to cause them any sort of like discomfort.
Oh, okay. So it's really the Pal World sales and the popularity that they didn't like.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember when Pal World first came out, and they were super popular at first, and the meme was it's Pokemon with guns, and that's essentially what it is. I get that. Like I agree with that. However, after a while, they started to lose some playership, some player baseline. Their player number of players had gone down a little bit on Steam.
Right.
And I remember someone had interviewed I don't know if it was the CEO or like the head producer or whatever of PocketPal, and they said, "Oh, what are you gonna do now? Like, what your huge success is going down." And the guy was basically like, "I don't care. People enjoyed the game for a while. Yeah. They moved on to other games. It happens. As we do updates, we expect they'll probably come back, and vice versa. That's how the gaming world works." And I thought he handled that so well.
That's a great attitude, dude.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. We shouldn't be fighting over, oh, no, these players are mine. They're mine only, and I keep them here forever. That's not how it works. People play games for a while. They get to the point to where either they're bored or they've done everything they need to or whatever. They completed the game. Okay, I'm satisfied. I'm going to move on to something else.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
What was that live service game that our friend Iraq wanted to play really bad, and he just like went right through it and then was done with it?
Oh, yeah. Oh my god!
It was a looter shooter.
Yeah,
and
I want to say it was.
Go ahead.
I want to say it was The Outsiders, but I know that's wrong.
Outsiders, right? Outriders.
Outriders. Yes, that's what it was. Yeah.
And the developers that made that game said from the beginning, no updates, no nothing. This is like a one-shot, live service game. If you want to keep playing, you can keep playing, but we're not doing anything afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they were just kind of like the way this guy had that same attitude. It was just like, play it for what it is. If you enjoy it, keep playing it. When you're done with it, stop playing it.
Mm-hmm. Like, which is exactly what games used to be. Before we had all this internet access that was free to everything, and we had your game system. You go buy a game and you get what you get, and there's no updates, there's no downloads, there's no DLC. Other than an expansion, which you still had to go physically buy, and it was a separate game. But otherwise, that's what you have. You play that game until you're done, and then you move on to the next one, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think that companies,
they just want our attention all the time. They're like, they're like the news, dude. Like they're like the news. Like 24/7. Be watching this. Be on this game. Like it's just like we can't.
Yeah,
we can't do
absolutely.
it.
And if it's a situation where the company only has 1 or 2 games and that's what they pour all their resources into, like that seems really risky to me, you know.
Yeah.
But if that's what you do and it works, congratulations. You
Yeah.
know, look at for example, like oh my god, Fortnite, you know, has been very successful since what, 2016? So 9 years now, has been doing very well. For a
Mm,
while, they were up there with Minecraft, you know, as the top game.
Believe it or not, I
Um,
think that was 18.
was it 18?
I
Okay.
think so, 17 or 18. Wait, no. Shit. Was it like 19? When did Fortnite come out? Go keep going.
I don't think that was that late, but yeah, they've been out there for several years, is what I'm
Yeah, yeah,
saying,
yeah.
and it's continued to be popular because they continue to put updates into it and new products, and new skins, and new things to do, and you know, every few years, let's change this up completely, you know,
Yeah.
and that's fine. That works for them. That works for their model because that's Epic that makes that, right? Epic
Yeah.
Games.
Yeah,
So they have
2017.
like 2017.
Yeah, so you were not that far off,
Okay.
just 1 year, yeah.
So I mean, they don't have a lot of games that they really support, especially like live action type games. So
Well, they
you know,
cannibalized a really good game that they had called Paragon, which I will always talk about this because I really love that game. It was a MOBA, but it was third person, and it was kind of like a hero shooter where all the characters were different things. And I mean, it was, if you've ever played Smite, it was literally that, but
okay,
with like really random type of characters. Like Wukong was in there, and like this thing that looked like the Grim Reaper. I think he was just the Grim Reaper, but it was just it was really good. And I'm so sad when it died because they didn't think Fortnite was going to be that big. Unreal was just really like, hey, we have some things, some projects, and we just want to show off the engine with it. And
hmm,
when Fortnite blew up, they didn't even, because they were going to give away the original version of Fortnite, which was Save the World, which was kind of like almost like zombies, right? Like you have
that's right, yeah,
one area that you got to defend against all these people. That's why the building mechanic exists.
hmm,
That's what it was for. And they were always charging $20 for that. And then when Fortnite blew up, they were like, "Oh, we're eventually gonna give that one away for free." No, they just fucking killed it. And then they killed Paragon. And it was just like, what now? What about all those people who spent us money on Paragon? The good thing is they refunded everybody.
oh nice,
Any dime that they spent on Paragon, they refunded everybody, and then they gave the assets away for free.
that's awesome,
And so people have tried to remake Paragon, but it's like you can't. It was
yeah,
there was a team of experts who really loved Paragon, and being a player doesn't automatically mean you understand how the game was made. And yeah,
yeah, yeah, obviously,
but
yeah.
yeah, what was the good news of this?
Oh, it's just that basically they were able to come back and they were basically able to say like, and I don't know
Oh,
how
what the
this
guy
is
said.
working with the courts,
Yeah, yeah,
but they're basically saying like, listen, if you're getting us on patent infringement, that's fine, but get everyone. You know, don't pick us out and bully us.
right.
Go after everyone.
Hmm.
And a lot of people are thinking like this might be a like an important move throughout this whole trial, and it might give Pocket Pair an advantage over Pokemon,
Okay.
which is huge because the Pokemon Company is the largest gaming franchise in the world. Like nobody else compares. So they
Yeah.
always get their way, you know. Like there's been so many fan made games and stuff like that, and emulation and everything, obviously, you know, all that kind of stuff. Nintendo always goes after them, the Pokemon Company. They don't care. They will tear you down. They just don't care, you know. If they're not making money from it, they don't want you to have any fun. And so the fact that they were able to kind of come back with this is, I
Yeah.
think, great news for Pocket Pair, and I'm all for it. And I 100% agree. You should not be choosing one just because they're direct competition over like the others, like you said, Lime Rancher and all those other, the Arc Evolved, and all those games that they're also doing the same thing, are infringing. You're writing monsters and doing all this kind of stuff and keeping them and all that kind of thing, you know, and yet you're going after this one company because they're actually direct competition
Yeah.
and giving you a run for your money. You know, that's not okay. You know, it totally turned the tables on them, and I think that's great news. So
Okay. Yeah. That is great news.
yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna bring some bad news. I'm gonna segue off of yours and talk about Nintendo Switch 2.
Ooh.
Yeah, I have no interest in this product whatsoever. I was duped into buying the first one, believing that power doesn't matter, and this product came out with 2-year-old technology inside it and could barely run its own games. The only good thing that came out of the original Nintendo Switch is that it exploded the PC handheld market.
Oh yeah.
So Steam Deck, ROG Ally, there's what's the other one? Like retro. What's it called? There's always a bunch of like little the company named Retro whatever, and it's got a bunch of little handhelds. And right now, Microsoft is, they're supposed to be making their own, and they made one with ROG. And what is the name of this thing? This thing is ridiculous. Like, they haven't fucking learned their lesson about naming conventions. The Xbox ROG Ally X.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Or is it the ROG Xbox Ally X? Who cares? Why?
Yeah, it's a mouthful. It's as if they took like different words from different companies, just threw them up against the wall, and let's see what sticks.
Yeah. Anyway, this isn't about Xbox, but yes. Nintendo is making the same fucking mistakes that they did before. They haven't learned about what gamers actually want. They're restricting features and they're just being very anti-consumer. They have the virtual game cards, which not only affect the Switch 2, but the original Switch. So there's no game sharing like the way PS4 did it back in the day, right? Like, you could just have like, this is my primary, this is my secondary, and we can share games.
Yeah.
That shit doesn't work anymore. You literally have to like virtually borrow the cart from somebody else, and the person who lets you borrow it can no longer play it because you're borrowing it. So thanks, Nintendo, for that.
Yeah. And there were so many games, even for the Switch, where you could just have one copy and multiple people could play off the same game, weren't there?
I think there. I don't know if there
was that
like,
I think that
was more 3DS. I think that was more 3DS. There may have been one or two like that. I'm sure the games from what is his name? The guy who did It Takes Two and I forget his name, but he made Brothers. What is it? A Tale of what is it?
Tale of Two Brothers or
that was a single player one, but that's where he kind of started. He did that. He did A Way Out. Then It Takes Two, and then now Split Fiction.
Yeah.
And I know Split Fiction for sure is on the Switch too, so I'm guessing that one will have the same thing that it does on PC and every other console, where you can,
I should hope so, yeah.
One copy of the game and two people can play, because that's I don't know why that's that needs to be praised, but it does, and it needs to be rewarded, and more companies need to do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's like, how many times have we been like, dude, come play this game with me, like, fucking buy it, and we play for a few hours and we never play it again. And it could have been something where only one of us buys it, or we go halvesies or something, and it's like, nope, this one wasn't for us. At least we didn't fucking buy the game twice.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, it's like old school, when we used to play games and our friends would invite us over, hey, I got this new game, let's check it out. And you go check it out, and I really love this, I'm going to buy it myself, or we'll come over and play it together all the time or whatever. You didn't have to buy the game to find out you didn't like it and then have to return it,
Exactly. Yeah. So also there's some really dumb features of the Switch too, like what is it? It's is it the 240 hertz, or what is it? It's 120 hertz, right?
Yeah.
You can't do it docked. Only in handheld mode.
It's only 120 hertz in handheld?
Yeah.
So is it 60 in docked?
I think it's, let me double check. Let me see. 120 hertz. Okay. Yep. So 120 hertz at 1080p or 1440p, but not 4K. 4K is only 60 hertz. But it's just there's some dumb features that it's almost the screen is too much. It should have been 720p, I think.
Yeah.
It's a fucking handheld. It doesn't need to
720p be 720p is good for that size screen. There's no reason it needs to be full 1080.
Yeah. And it's not an OLED. It's an LCD screen again. So now if you're coming from the OLED, you are downgrading on the Switch too.
Yeah. It's funny you should mention that, because I heard someone talking about, they did a review of the Switch and whether or not they think people should buy it. And their review came down to like, oh, if you think of it as the Switch Pro, then it's worth it. But the Switch OLED was the Switch Pro.
Kind of, yeah. It did improve on it. The screen size got a little bit bigger. It improved on battery life. Obviously, the OLED.
Yeah, the screen was much better. Yeah, the quality and everything. Like that is the Switch Pro.
Yeah.
How's the Switch 2 the Switch Pro? No, it's the Switch 2. It's the next generation.
Yeah.
So they're like, if you think of it like that, it's like, yeah, I get that, but it's not. At least I don't think of it that way.
Yeah. No,
So.
yeah, it's just, I don't know. And then they use the same Joy-Con joystick mechanics that they did for the for the Switch, which is like, again, you're not learning anything.
And they still haven't fixed that issue.
No, they haven't. So why is it that I was able to buy, I think it was like, I can't remember how much. It was like $20 maybe for a 4-pack of Hall Effect Joy-Con replacements, joystick replacements. I popped those suckers out and replaced them on mine for like less than it would have taken me to like fucking ship, wait, and have the thing come back. Because they don't fix them. They just give you brand new Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
And they did the same thing with the original Switches too. If like there was something wrong with the Switch, they wouldn't repair it. They would just give you a new one.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it's like the Apple way. Apple kind of does the same thing too. They're just like, fuck it, recycle that one, give them a new one. Transfer all the shit over. Yeah, it's just frustrating that Nintendo just sucks at being like video game providers. Like they just suck at it, and they're encouraging like third parties to not put all the data on the carts. So most third party games are just a fucking game cart that just has the key to download the game. So it's like, why buy it physically then?
Not to mention with their like very low amount of space to download games on.
Yeah, what is the size of the new one? I think it is a little bit better.
I know the original Switch was 32 gigabytes, which that's like 3 games if you're lucky.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild was 11 gigs, so that was half of your shit already.
Yeah,
plus the operating system was just like, well, cool. And you're required to have like an extreme version of an SD card now, whatever it is.
That's right. Yeah, so you have to pay even more.
Yeah, because otherwise
extra storage. Yeah.
Yeah. What was I going to look up just now? The
storage.
The storage. That's right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Storage is 256 gigabytes. So that's better than 32 to 64 from the original one.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the micro SD express cards have a maximum of 2 terabytes. But yeah,
but those are going to cost you a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't even remember how much, because I paid for a 256 SD card for my Switch 1, and I don't remember how much that cost me. But yeah, it's just kind of like thing after thing after thing with Nintendo. The only third party, well, not only, but one of the third parties developers that I know actually put the whole fucking game in the cart is Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk 2077 is actually on the cart.
Good for them.
Yeah. The only problem is Phantom Liberty struggles in a couple places because that's just the way the game is. I guess it does so on PC. I haven't played through that campaign yet. I've only played through the original. But yeah, I just for me, these are like Nintendo Switch 2 woes. Reasons that I knew I was just not going to get this. I have held one in my hand. Our nephew Tony got it, of course.
Okay.
Somehow I knew he was going to get one, and when we went to go for his graduation, he's like, hey, you want to see it? And I'm like, see what? Like, and he just like hands it to me. I'm like, oh shit, it's the Switch 2. It feels solid as fuck. Like the Switch 1, I feel like I could twist it and it would snap. This one is like solid metal feeling and everything. It's nice. That felt really good and all that. It is still too thin, but it's if that's what you're looking for a slim device, dope, because everything else is huge and they're shaped like fucking controllers with a screen in the middle. So I get it. If you do have a Switch 2, I do encourage getting I think D-Brand has a really cool case for it. It's called the Kill Switch. It's probably called the Kill Switch 2 or something.
Yeah.
But I encourage my nephew.
Got some really good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I encourage my nephew to get that because I have one. It's not a D-Brand one, but man, it made it so much better to play the Switch because flat controllers really sucks. The triggers felt a lot better on it.
Okay.
Because the original Switch ones are just like you feel like your fingers are just gonna slip off every time you do the triggers. What else was I gonna say about this so-called product? There's the stupid $10 Nintendo tour that should have been free and should have come with the system.
Oh yeah.
And it's the lamest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like it's just here's what this button does. And
Mm-hmm.
it literally is like if you were a microscopic human being walking around the Switch and you're an idiot. You're just, you have
Mm-hmm.
no idea what a Switch is.
Yeah. Well,
And
it's like those games that it's been a long series. It's a popular thing. People have been playing it for years, and they put an unskippable
bro,
tutorial in every single one.
bro, wait until the Legend of Zelda podcasts.
Oh boy.
That's every Zelda game besides Breath of the Wild. Like that's how long it took them to not do
Jeez.
that.
Yeah. Pokemon is known for that too.
Yeah, this is
And
I'm Professor Oak. This is
yeah.
we live in a world where Pokemon exist. Blah 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 blah. Like, oh my god.
Which I get. It's primarily made for games for children, for younger audience, and you can't just assume that someone has played previous games and they know what to do. I get that, but
Yeah.
can't there be an option? Have you played this game before? Yes.
Yes.
Do you understand the mechanics? Yes. Here you go. Two clicks. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
And even I'm even a little annoyed by the "Are you sure?" type of thing. But even then, I just have to click a button. Yes. And hey, if you haven't played before, sucks to be you. Start over, watch the tutorial if you need to. But if you haven't played it before, go through the tutorial, learn how to do it, go from there. If you've played it for the 30 years that it's been out like me, skip the tutorial, move on.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
Well, there was one last thing I was gonna say. Monster Hunter used to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now it doesn't.
Yeah.
Now you're forced to watch that bullshit.
Yep.
Pretty stupid. But yeah, last thing on Switch 2 is there's no fucking games for it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's just Mario Kart World and every ported game under the sun from the original Switch or third parties that have already been around.
So Donkey Kong isn't even available yet, is it?
No. And as far as like people who played it said that it was struggling a bit because it's terrain manipulation. Like No Man's Sky and
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Hopefully they fix that before they release it, but I think that's later this year. But even that, I wasn't even excited about that either. That if I was going to play another Donkey Kong game, I would want it to be like Donkey Kong 64, classic platformer. Like I don't know. They changed the look of him too. They made him look more like the movie version.
Yeah, I noticed that because I remember I saw the trailer for it, and I was like, something looks off here. Like, what is it? I couldn't.
And that's what it looks like
on
World, on Mario Kart World. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
so bad.
We'll get used to it. Whatever. They already changed Mario on Super Mario Wonder.
True.
It's not even I can't remember his name, but the original voice actor anymore.
Oh yeah. It's because he passed away, right?
No, he just retired.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Or Nintendo retired him. You'd never know.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the latter. Yeah.
All right, Chris, hit me with some bad news.
All right. So we know that oh my gosh, Disney
take a breath.
Has been we all know that Disney has been on a rampage, I guess you could call it, of remaking movies live action.
Oh God.
And I honestly thought that it was going to bottom out with what's it called?
Little Mermaid?
Little Mermaid, yeah. With the controversy and everything over that.
Yeah.
And then Snow White.
Or Snow White. Yeah, I was gonna say Snow White too.
Oh my gosh.
So did you watch it? Is that why?
I have not seen the movie at all. I have no intention of ever seeing it at all.
Okay.
Unless we do it for our podcast, Best of the Worst.
Oh jeez.
Which I'm never gonna suggest that myself, so you won't hear it from me. But oh my gosh.
We'll watch Dora 2 before we watch Snow White.
Right, yeah. What a PR disaster from the beginning. Like it hadn't even been released. I think they hadn't even really shown any trailers yet. Maybe like teasers, but no like real trailers. And what's her name? Rachel was just out there tearing it down.
Yeah.
And I was like, she's just like, oh, we remade it because the original one was so stupid and blah blah blah. And I kind of felt uncomfortable reading it. I was like, so don't read it.
Yeah.
Don't have anything to do with it. That's fine. If you don't like it, you don't have to take part. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
And it's just like she was just out there just constantly bad talking the original movie and everything. It's like that was one of their classics. I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of their first full length animated movies.
It was the first one. First full length.
So like who do you think you are?
Yeah.
To talk about that. Like, it absolutely boggled my mind, and I did not understand. And I thought for sure Disney is going to fire her, reshoot the whole movie with someone else. But no, for whatever reason, they continued.
Yeah.
And I remember that was like the first sign of distress. The second big one, I think for a lot of people, was the dwarves.
Oh yeah, okay.
And there's so many wonderful actors out there that have dwarfism, right? Would have been perfect for this movie. So many of them are in Hollywood struggling to find themselves roles in movies or whatever because they don't fit the part, they don't look right, whatever it may be.
And then literally right here, they're like, here's 7 roles we could put in one movie.
Exactly. And then Disney comes along and says, nope, we're going to make them all CGI.
Yeah.
And I remember I heard about that and I felt so bad for those people. And not in the pity sort of like, oh, that's too bad. But like, you guys should be angry about this. You guys should be like fighting against this. I don't understand. Like, why is this not bigger in the news? I don't get it, you know? And it was just such a bad movie. And from the beginning, I was like, this movie is not going to do well. Nobody's going to go watch it. It's just just like all their other live actions. They've been doing poorly in the theater every time, you know? And this one was the first one I think they absolutely bombed.
Yeah.
Like they did really bad. And I think a lot of it had to do with the negative PR. You know, people joke about, oh, there's no such thing as about, you know, no such thing as negative press or whatever. There is. And it happened. This is proof. And it's funny to me, around the same time, the Minecraft movie had come out. And I know you and I had talked about this before, especially before you went to go see it. We're like, oh, that looks bad. Like, that doesn't look very good.
Yeah.
It's not going to do great, blah, blah, blah. You know, what ended up happening was Minecraft movie did so much better than Snow White that it was everywhere in the news. Like, oh, Minecraft destroys Disney movie, blah, blah, blah. And Rachel went on a rant about that too. It was like, oh, it's because, you know, we didn't get enough marketing out or something was wrong or blah, blah, blah. It was like trying to blame it on Disney for some reason or I don't know. I don't know where she was coming from, you know, because she's the one that caused all this stuff in the first place. And it was just a disaster. And a lot of people were like, oh, well, the only reason that, you know, the Minecraft movie did so well was because Snow White did so badly. And I was like, maybe, but also Minecraft movie actually, you know, the makers actually made a good movie from what I heard, you know.
I liked it, but the rest of the world was like, this movie's just a meme.
Yeah.
But I think it's just because I'm more like it's more recently in my memory with all the new updates and everything, and I kind of understand. I understand like the things that they're referencing and everything like that, because people that liked Minecraft haven't played Minecraft in years.
Yeah.
And they didn't like the movie. And it's like,
okay.
And it's like, well, because you don't get it now.
Yeah.
Like, and they weren't like upset about it. They did say like, this movie's not for me. And that's okay. And I said, yeah, pretty much. It's not for you. It's more for me. It definitely was for me because I understood the references and yeah, like I said, it's got, you know, it's Jared Hess, so it's got Napoleon Dynamite, Nacho Libre humor. So it's just like, this is a perfect fucking, you know, shitstorm of hilarity, and I loved it.
Not to mention Jack Black is almost great in almost all of his roles. Like, I can hardly think of a role that Jack Black has played that's not been good, you know.
Claptrap, I guess.
Yeah, okay. That's fair.
I haven't seen it, but that's what I heard.
that was another big flop, yeah. But
Snow White, it cost them over $270 million to produce, with an additional $100 million for marketing, and estimated to lose at least $115 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they did really bad. And you think they would learn from that. And then Lilo and Stitch happened.
Oh, dude, as soon as I heard the announcement, I was like, why the fuck are they doing this? Like, this is a pretty recent movie. Same thing with the Moana. Just, there's no reason for these to exist. There literally is no reason.
Yeah.
And my wife, Jessie, was excited for Lilo and Stitch. And I'm like, babe, do not get your hopes up. Like, they're going to fuck it up. Like,
oh, yeah.
Guaranteed. And then it already came out, right? And as far as I understand, I don't know all the details, but as far as I understand, Jamba, is that his name?
Yes.
is the bad guy in this movie.
Yep. The original bad guy wasn't there at all. I can't remember his name.
There was no bad guy, right?
Well, the shark guy? Dude, yeah, was not in there at all.
Well, he was just a bounty hunter, right?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because I don't really
think of the federal guy. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really feel like there was
they mentioned names. I'm not super familiar with the movie, so I didn't know a lot of them.
I think they just didn't know how to do it live action without an antagonist, because the original one doesn't really have an antagonist. It's just it's Stitch himself struggling to fucking conform with society, and he can't, because that's not how he was made. And it's really a lesson in like when you don't know you're being a dickhead, and then you see someone else be a dickhead, and then it forces you to look into yourself and be like,
yeah, you do a little self introspection. Oh, yeah, maybe the problem's with me.
Yeah, I am also that dickhead. Like, I should probably stop that. And that's literally what Lilo and Stitch is Lilo is a fucking what's the word? She's just fucking out of control. Doesn't listen to reason and just does whatever the fuck she wants, and it destroys her family. And Stitch comes along and kind of does the same thing to Lilo, and Lilo's like, "Why don't you fucking calm down?" And it's like, that's like, what your fucking sister's been telling you the whole time, your entire life.
Yep.
And it's just there's no antagonist there, so that's why it's like, why does there need to be one? I don't get it. Lilo doesn't look like Lilo. Nobody looks like them. Like, nobody looks like how they should look. And Stitch is just insanely fluffy.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. I don't like that.
It's weird. So one of the biggest gripes that I've heard from people who enjoyed the original animated movie, there was an animated series as well,
right?
For a while that had run, but the original animated movie it's all about Ohana means family, and that was thrown to the wayside in this movie, apparently,
right? Because Ohana means something else, doesn't it?
Yeah, Ohana means selling out your family so you can go to college somewhere else. When you want to go to college for what was it, like sea ocean biologist or something, or something like that, where she wanted to like work with sea animals basically, and 3 of the top schools are in Hawaii. She decided to go to the mainland United States. It's like, why? And the original one was, she gave that up to keep her family, to keep Lilo and everything, and they all stayed together as a family because Ohana means family. We all stay together. You do what it takes to keep each other safe and secure, and you sacrifice what you need to for your family. And it was all thrown to the wayside in this, and nobody knows why, because it's a good theme. It's a good lesson.
Yeah.
Why did they throw it away? Nobody understands like what was going through the writers' heads when that happened. And then you look back at like The Lion King, which is essentially a shot-for-shot remake, just CGI instead of, they call it live action, but you can't train lions to that point. So, of course it's all going to be CGI, but from what I hear, and that's another one I haven't seen, but it's a shot-for-shot remake of the original.
Mm-hmm.
The first one anyway. They made another one. It was like when Simba or when Mufasa was young, but
right.
Yeah. It's like that was a shot-for-shot remake of the original. Why couldn't they do the same with Lilo and Stitch?
That one sucked though.
Yeah.
Like I saw that in theaters, and it was just like these expressionless animals. It was just like, what are we watching here, dude? And you could feel James Earl Jones was not giving it his all. It was so heartbreaking, man.
He probably saw this and was like, why are we doing this? Like the original one is fine. If kids want to watch it, they can watch it. It's available to them. It's not like it's lost to the, eons of the internet or whatever. It's still available as far as I know. So why not just watch that? But no, Disney just got tired of making new stuff, and they're like, hey, we have old stuff. Let's recycle that so we can make more money.
Yeah.
And that's another business thing I don't like. I don't agree with. And yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's all going downhill. I just don't know when they're going to stop. It doesn't seem like it's going to stop anytime soon because, like you said, they have Moana coming up. I think I heard an announcement for something else as well.
I don't know. They're not doing great, man. What's that new movie that just came out? Elio or something like that?
Yeah.
Fucking bombed. Fucking the How to Train Your Dragon remake is slaughtering it.
Oh yeah, which it should. Like that looks excellent.
I was never really. I'm not really a fan of those movies. I don't see why this remake exists either. But if it's good, great.
Yeah.
Fucking, I'm happy for them. I just don't think it was necessary.
Yeah.
It's
I kind of think it was DreamWorks' way of telling Disney, like, this is how it's supposed to be done.
that'd be great if that's why they did it. That'd be hilarious.
I genuinely hope it was. Even if they never admit it, if they never say it officially in public or whatever.
Yeah.
And if that's like our secret agenda for doing this is because Disney's been doing this and they've been doing it so terribly. Let's do this and show them how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, because they've just lost their touch, man. Like I really haven't been interested in any like Disney Pixar movies probably since fucking Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Yeah,
like when I heard that movie was even coming, I was like, what the fuck for? What is this? Who's this for?
Mm-hmm.
What a terrible fucking movie that was.
Yeah, not to mention, and so many people have commented on this, they missed out on the title. Ralph Wrecks the Internet.
Yeah, his fucking name.
How did you miss that?
His fucking name is Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah,
like it's right there. It's right there, and you tripped over it and came up with this other one. Oh man, yeah. No, Disney has not been making a lot of wise choices. There was another situation, and this has to do with Disney Plus, the live service, the streaming service rather, where a gentleman had gone to a Disney park and something had happened. He'd gotten an injury. I don't remember what it was. I don't know all the details, but he'd gotten an injury somehow, and he went to try to sue the park because of negligence or something.
Mm-hmm.
And they came back at him and said, nope, if you look at your end user license agreement in Disney Plus, you will see in there that if you subscribe to this service, you cannot sue us at the park for any reason whatsoever.
Oh, I did hear about this. Yeah.
Yeah. And that includes if you were a past subscriber. So you don't even have to be a current subscriber. If you were a past subscriber.
I can't believe they included that in the end user license.
Yeah. And it's one of those things. And I remember like growing up, anytime you get a game, movie, whatever, you said, oh, you agree to this? Yeah, whatever. I don't care. And we'd always skip, and I still do. And it's stupid. I shouldn't. I know I shouldn't. But
but who the fuck reads that?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and some of the
they
stuff
make it impossible.
is like, yeah, some of it is like, it's what they call legalese, where it's like, oh, you as such and such and blah, blah, blah. It's like,
yeah.
What did I just read?
Yeah, I don't fucking understand it. Do it in plain English.
You just about need a law degree to understand some of what they're saying.
Yeah.
And short of having your own lawyer or advisor or whatever to advise you on that kind of stuff and tell you exactly what it means, no one's going to have the time to read all that. And they know that, and that's why they slip it in there.
Yep. Yeah, it's on purpose.
Yeah.
And you just reminded me something that I forgot to say about the Nintendo thing. Their end user license agreement.
Oh yeah.
Now states that if you modify your Switch 1 or 2 in any way and they detect it, they'll brick your fucking system.
Oh yeah. There was I guess there was a popular like modded thing called the MIG.
The MIG Switch? Yeah.
Yeah. Which loaded all your games onto one thing, and so you could play them all.
Even if they're your own legal backups.
Yeah. And yeah, someone had put it on Switch 2. And immediately they got a message that popped up that says, oh, your online service is suspended. You can no longer do anything online, including purchasing games. And it's like, wow. Holy crap. Like, what? Why?
Yeah.
It's like, and he made the comment. He's like, I understand with people who are pirating games and stuff like that. Like, I get that. He's like, but all of mine are legitimate.
Yeah.
I don't have any pirated games on here. And it's like Nintendo won't even take the time to look through to see what pirated and what isn't. Which I assume they easily could because they have all the keys and everything.
Yeah.
But instead of doing that, nope, we're just going to brick it because that's easier.
Yeah. Nintendo don't give a fuck, man. Like I said, they're not going to get any more of my money.
Yeah.
Nothing, dude. Nothing.
Yeah, no, same. And I fully understand that they still have a huge base and that they are not going to be hurt because I'm not buying their products. And that doesn't bother me. I'm not doing it to try to hurt them. I'm doing it because I don't support them anymore and I don't want to buy that stuff.
Yeah.
So I know of a guy personally. Well, I know of him through the internet, but who went to Best Buy opening day. Waited in line and was like one of the first 50 people in that particular store to get one. He didn't pre-order. He was waiting to buy it.
Yeah, just waiting.
Normal, but yeah. And I was like, that's cool. I would not do that. Not even for the first Switch. But hey, that's awesome. If you love it, you love it. Cool.
Yeah.
And then, when it came out and everything, I've heard a lot of people say, yeah, Mario because Mario Kart World was so hyped up because it was the first game that was being released and the only game basically, other than the first a few third parties, and like you say, the backlog of other games.
After like 12 years of not having a fucking, was it 12 years? It was something crazy, dude, since we've had a fucking Mario Kart.
Yeah. And people were like, "Oh, I'm so excited for the game, blah blah blah," and it finally came out, and people were like, "It's not that great. Like the world part of it is kind of lackluster, and there's not a lot to it. It's kind of empty." It's like, yeah, what did you expect? Like, you know,
yeah, it's Forza Horizon. Like they've done other people have done it before. You know who did it before? Diddy Kong Racing.
Yes, thank you.
Diddy Kong Racing is such a good game.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got some good news.
Okay.
Unless you wanted to say one more thing.
No, I'm pretty much done.
Okay. My good news is, well, if anyone knows me personally or has ever gone to any of my streams, and anyone who happens to mention some kind of product, I think it's called an Xbox. And every time it's mentioned, I say, "What's an Xbox?" And it's always been just my joke.
Mm-hmm.
And now everything is an Xbox, which makes me laugh to high hell. Not in a bad way, but in a just, it's about fucking time, because I feel like Microsoft has been tapping my goddamn phone and all my microphones in my house and taking my ideas, because I've been saying this for ages, because I don't think Xbox should have entered the console arena ever.
Yeah.
I've never liked the consoles. I've never owned one. I know why it's called an Xbox. It's called an Xbox because it has DirectX in it, and it was originally pretty much a PC. I mean, it took the hardware from the Dreamcast, and then they put their own proprietary OS on there. Which, by the way, also the Dreamcast was running like a version of Windows underneath.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can install straight up Windows on there. But yeah, there was like a little Windows logo on the Dreamcast. But yeah, and think about the games, like the launch games that showed up on the Xbox were like Shenmue, why can't I think of the other ones?
Halo.
Yeah, well, Halo wasn't on the Dreamcast, but like,
oh, I see. Yeah.
What am I thinking here? Why Shenmue the only one I can think of?
They have like Sonic or anything like that, or I assume probably not at first.
Probably not at first, but I'll think about them later. But anyways, yeah, a lot like Jet Set Radio, I think, was also there. Gonna start on Dreamcast. But yeah, a lot of those games were like, oh, ports, but really it's just like, dude, they already ran on there because it's the same hardware.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, like Microsoft doesn't understand consoles. They never did. They don't understand the market, and they've shown it time and time again. Japan hates them. That's why like RPGs rarely ever show up there. Final Fantasy XI, the online MMO, took years to show up on the 360. It was on the PS2 on launch. Yeah, the Japanese have no respect for Microsoft, and I don't think Microsoft does have any respect either for the Japanese video game market.
Yeah, it's definitely a mutual feeling.
Yeah, and yeah, no, I've always just been like, they need to get out of the console game. They don't know what they're doing. They need to stick to publishing. They need to stick to Windows and just keep nurturing that, making sure that Windows doesn't get in the fucking way of video games, because right now, Windows does. It gets in the way.
Mm-hmm.
One of our friends has mentioned that from Windows 10 to Windows 11, there is significant frame dropping, or not frame dropping, but lower frame rates. And I think his name is and yeah, it gets in the way. And so the good news is everything is an Xbox now, which I'm like, yes, you guys have, I don't know if the biggest, maybe the second biggest cloud computing server farm in the world.
It's got to be way up there. Yeah.
I think Amazon probably has the biggest, but I think Microsoft is like not far behind, and their cloud computing is huge. And even Sony, I believe, has dipped their toe into using their cloud computing servers and stuff like that for like PlayStation Now, or whatever the fuck it's called now.
Yeah.
So yeah, now everything's an Xbox, your iPad, your iPhone, which is crazy because they're Apple, your droids, your, I'm sure people were already trying to do that on the Switch, but guess what? Now those are bricked. Any PC handheld is an Xbox, unless it's running. Oh no, I guess yeah. Even if it's running Linux, because you could run xCloud through a browser.
Yeah,
and that's how you do it through an iPhone and stuff like that. So anything with a browser is a fucking Xbox. So this is great news, I think. This is something that I've been wishing for Microsoft for a long time, because I do feel bad. As much as I made fun of them, I do feel bad for them that they're always in third place. Like, even when they were beating out the PS3, like, they were fucking destroying. I mean, I think domestically, worldwide, I think not. I think Japan was still, like, including the world. I might be wrong on this, but I just remember the 360 was destroying the PS3, and I just remember all those fanboys like rubbing it in my face, and I was like, I don't care. I like my PS3. Like, I'm fine with it. The exclusives on the PS3 outweigh the amount of fucking Halo you play on your Xbox and the amount of Gears of War that you play on your Xbox. Like, it's just like you're touting the same games. That's all you have. Whatever. Call of Duty has always been more popular in Xboxes.
Oh yeah.
Because Xbox is an American brand. So, of course, shooters are, Japan doesn't like shooters. They don't fucking play shooters. They like their fucking their RPGs and their handheld co-op stuff. And that's more my taste. Honestly, that's why I like that kind of shit. That's why I like Clear Obscure so much, which is crazy because that's a French JRPG and it's fucking amazing. But also, the best news about all this shit is they're gonna make another piece of hardware. I don't want to call it a console, but they're making another Xbox. But it's going to be a PC.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh my God, it took you this long to make a home PC just for gaming. You guys could have done this with the first one. The first one was running a fucking dumbed down version of Windows, and you could have done it from there. You could have ruined Sony from the beginning.
Oh yeah.
And now for sure they've got a so that's what this whole what is this thing called? The ROG Xbox Ally X. That's what this thing is supposed to be proving, because like I said, Xbox was supposed to come out with their own handheld. They pussied out and they were like, let's just partner with somebody. The version of Windows running on the Xbox Ally X is a stripped down, like, no nonsense gaming first version of Windows. It doesn't even load the fucking desktop when you turn it on. You can enable it, but it does not launch it.
Which is the way it should be.
Yeah. All the unnecessary shit falls away and gets out of your way and just goes straight to, I guess, probably what game mode has always tried to be on Windows. And yeah, dude, I'm happy about this. Like, it's about fucking time. We need more accessible gaming PCs for everybody, because we try to get our friends who don't have PCs into PC gaming, and they just want to turn it on and for it to work. And I get it.
Yeah.
I want mine to do that too.
Well, and the thing is, I think a lot of people focus on like, oh, PCs are so expensive, you have to pay, $1,200 or $1,000 or $800 or whatever to get it, and it's like, yes, but it lasts for years after that, and you
keep your library.
You pay to upgrade it over time.
Yeah,
but it's you pay that steep upfront cost to have the availability to upgrade it over time, over multiple generations in some cases, and you just keep doing that. And then eventually you reach the point to where it's like, okay, now I got to kind of replace everything because the motherboard's outdated or whatever. So you got to put another chunk of money into it, and upgrade everything all over again. But it's over time. You're not buying every 5 or 6 years a new console. And I think in the long run, it kind of evens out,
Yeah.
Especially lately.
Yeah. And the sales, Jesus Christ, my library's huge. I don't play these games.
Yeah, exactly. And if Xbox comes out with a PC version that is a PC that is stripped down for gaming and strictly makes it a gaming PC that you can also upgrade, I'm buying it. Because that has been one of the biggest things about consoles is they're so difficult to upgrade. You can change out the hard drive for an SSD and you get a boost in, the load times and stuff, or you can add storage to the PS5 and you can have a bunch more games on it. That's cool. That's not a true upgrade,
Right.
You're not adding RAM, you're not upgrading the video graphics card or anything like that.
Yeah, if you want an upgrade, you got to wait for the PS4 Pro or the PS5 Pro without a stand and no drive. Like,
yeah, exactly.
What
all
the
stuff
fuck?
Separately. Yeah. And guess what? If you don't have PS Plus, you can't use the CD drive because that's how we connect it. So
that too. I am worried about that though. Gaming online.
Yeah.
Are they going to let you just play, or are they going to bring that bullshit to Windows?
Yeah.
That's kind of a scary thought.
my hope is that they will learn from their mistakes and PlayStation's mistakes and say, look, we just want to sell this device that happens to be optimized towards playing games, including the OS, that is optimized for gaming. It is essentially a PC. You can upgrade it and use it as a PC, but it is optimized specifically for gaming.
Yeah.
And do with it what you will. Kind of, I mean, to a certain extent, obviously, if someone's like hacking it and doing all sorts of stuff, like that's not okay. Jailbreaking is one thing, I guess. If you want to do that, that's fine, whatever. But like, don't take it too far. Don't ruin it for everyone else. And but yeah, if that's what they do and they say it is yours to buy and we will, you can play games or whatever they want to do, that's fine. As long as, like you say, they learn from their mistakes and they don't do the whole like, we're going to control everything. Everything has its own little key. And if you don't have our live service or whatever as part of your setup, then you don't get to use all of this stuff to the fullest extent.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah. No, it's good news. Good news for the industry. I think they're the only ones making good moves right now, to be honest. For the industry.
Yeah.
Another thing I forgot to mention about Nintendo is their prices. Their price hikes are nonsense for games.
Yeah, $80 for Mario Kart and
yeah.
Yeah.
We all know GTA 6 is probably going to be $100.
Oh yeah.
But that's a huge game, and I forgive them for that. Like the fact that they kept selling 5 for for $60. We'll start at $50 with PS3 and then $60 with PS4 and beyond, but also giving it away for free on Epic. So they were the first Epic free game on the launcher.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. And every once in a while they give it away for free or discounts. And that's the thing Nintendo doesn't do. They don't discount their shit for nobody.
Yeah. No, any first party game, you can, it might go on sale for like a seasonal thing.
Yeah.
And it's going to be very short and very, very limited, but yeah, it's like I that's why I tell people, like, to this day, if you were to buy a Nintendo Switch and you're like, oh, I want to play Breath of the Wild, you are still paying full price for that.
Yep.
And there should be no reason. There's no reason you should pay full price for a game that is 7 years old, 6 years old. It's ridiculous.
Or $70 for a DLC.
Yeah. Yeah. But
yeah, I think this is a good thing that they're doing. Sony needs to also kind of watch what the fuck they're doing because they've been misstepping as well.
Oh yeah.
With their pro shit and a PS Portal. What the fuck is that thing? I hear they're coming with an actual PSP successor, or I guess PS Vita successor, which that'll be cool. But oddly enough, I'm giving the most praise to Microsoft right now, who I've loathed for the longest time. I just don't like the company altogether. I still don't like their executives. What's her face, the president? She just has a snarky fucking look on her face every time someone asks her a legit question. She gives a corporate answer. Phil Spencer, at least, you could tell that he like he's hurt. Like when he gave that interview talking about like it sucks coming in third all the time.
Yeah.
And you could feel it. It's just like, damn, I feel bad for this guy, but also you're a fucking liar.
Yeah. What's that meme? 4 times the map size, 8 times or 16 times the detail or something.
Oh, well, that was Todd Howard when he was talking about, what the fuck was it? I don't remember. Oh, Fallout 76 or some shit.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
He's also a dickhead. Fuck that guy. But yeah, that's my good news for the industry. Yeah, if they come out with a fucking PC in the living room, Xbox, go out and get that shit. I won't get it because I'm pretty happy with my PC, but
yeah,
I think that's a great idea. I would probably get that for somebody else who wants to do some PC gaming in the living room and are scared about it. Like, here, have this. This is right up your alley.
Yeah, and it would be a huge boon to the industry because, like I said, it's upgradable. Like a regular PC. So, hey, my system's starting to run a little slow. It's not running these new games.
At least I hope it is. They haven't really said if it would be, but
yeah, true.
It should.
That's
be
my hope. Yeah,
yeah.
But if they do make it like that, if in our perfect gaming world, they come out with like I said, a specific PC that, like you said, has a stripped down version of Windows and it's tailored specifically for gaming, and that is all it does. That is number one priority is gaming. Then you have a true gaming PC. Because nowadays, there's not a lot of difference between gaming PCs and like you have your PCs that are doing like editing and rendering and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's not a huge difference. I mean, there might be slight differences in what cores what CPUs you're using, and even less difference in what GPUs you're using. But it's not that big. Like you can't use one for the other, you know?
Yeah.
But if they made something specifically for gaming and got all that bloatware and stuff out of the OS and just we want to focus on
But don't you want to play Candy Crush? You want to play Candy Crush and
yes.
and Solitaire.
Yeah.
And Candy Crush.
Man, you remember the old school space arcade game for Windows XP?
God, man. I fucking love that originated in like 95, dude.
That's right, yeah.
Space Cadet Pinball or some shit like that?
Yeah.
Awesome game.
That was amazing, yeah. But
pretty sure I can grab that and play that right
now. But yeah, if that's what they do, yeah, I'm all for it 100%.
Cool.
That bridges the gap between console and PC gamers.
Yeah, I mean that's what the Steam Deck's been doing, that, you know, and introducing people to Linux on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yep,
pretty crazy. So once again, PC Master Race doing good for the world, and maybe that'll bring down prices on components.
I would hope so,
because that's competition.
Yeah,
something that just out of the box works, is affordable. Hopefully, who knows what the price is going to be, but hopefully affordable, and that gives NVIDIA a run for their money, because they've been real stingy lately.
Yeah,
but yeah, this is good news, y'all.
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, with nothing else, we did it, Chris.
Woohoo!
We're back.
It only took us over a year, but we're back.
Yeah, we're back. Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool. Well, I guess I'll do what I always do in our other ones to promote our other things. If you guys would like to write to us, if you got subjects that you guys think we should cover, or just opinions on what we said, give us your hot takes. Tell us we're wrong. Tell us we're right. Tell us we shouldn't be talking at all. Tell us whatever you like. But yeah, comment down below, or leave us a review on your podcatcher of choice. I most likely will only see the Apple ones because I don't know how to see the other ones. But you could also write us at fans.pixelbenders@gmail.com. You could also leave us a voice message if you like, 209-791-0995. Just let me know what you're talking about, because that phone number is also used for other things.
Yeah. It's sort of a catch-all.
Yeah. You can also join our Discord. We have other podcasts there, and we have a great growing community there. So if you want to just hang out and discuss things, whatever, share memes and whatnot, link down below for the Discord. If you'd like to support us, you can do so on Patreon. You get live access to some of our podcast recordings. You get early access to episodes. You get a chance to be our guests in them if you'd like, and also bonus other podcasts like movie reviews and film commentary and the like. But yeah, and if you guys would be so kind, like I said, leave a review or share us on your socials and spread the word. And I have been Noise. We didn't really introduce ourselves, but I've been Noise.
And I'm DammitKriss.
And I will leave you all with a goodbye.
Farewell.